The master category portion of the show is when we get to talk about the tokens we drew the week before, which give us the categories. We pick our topics based on those categories. And last week, we all got our own categories.
Yeah.
Praise the maker.
Thanks, Allie.
Thank you, Allie. Yeah. If you didn't listen to that episode, go back and listen to it. Go watch it. She's super fun. And so hopefully some not the last time we hear from Allie, and maybe some fun stuff down the pipe with that. But since we all got our own, I think we should let Luke start.
Okay.
Yeah, it's logical.
To celebrate.
No, yeah.
That's fine. All right. So toys and games. Listen, Kickstarter...
Yeah.
So
I'm here. That was the point.
Listen.
My job.
So we all know that Kickstarter is generally good, right? Sometimes it's a crapshoot. It's you get something, you don't know when you're gonna get it, depending on who, like if it's first time for somebody doing a pledge, or if it's you have something you think is gonna be really popular and it doesn't get funded, and then you can't get the thing you were excited to back. It's kind of all over the place. It's the Wild West right now. I found a game I'm super excited about. It will get funded. It's actually 13 hours ago as of recording right now. It's a game called Spirits of the Forest, and it looks really, really awesome. So it's a 4-player game. It says 1 to 4 players. I don't know what the 1-player experience is, but it's at least 2 to 4 players.
Just looking at tokens.
Yeah, you just look at the stuff, take it out of the box, and then put it all back. As players, you represent elements that nourish the forces of nature, and then you compete with other people to acquire the most spirit symbols and score points. Whoever has the most points wins. So it's pretty simple. It's just a collection game. But the art style, I don't know if I sent you guys a link. Hold on, sending you a link.
I'm looking it up on my
I'm
app
like
right
trying
now.
to find it.
I found it.
Sending it right now.
Again?
Spirits of the Forest. I sent a link. It's in up here.
That's easy. I found one where you're a fox with a sword. Is it not that one?
Nope, not that one. So as of right now, it's at $422,000 of their $24,000 goal. And
they're gonna make it.
Yeah, they're gonna do it. But it looks amazing.
Oh my god! Is this the first game they funded?
I don't know. I really don't know anything about. The person that put it up is Gonzalo Aguirre BC, and I just butchered that completely. So I'm sorry.
Luke.
What?
Hey Luke.
Yeah.
Can I just take a moment to pause with you?
Yeah.
You have talked about games more times than we could count, right? We'd have to go back and watch the archive.
Sure.
This is like the first game that you've talked about that I'm truly like on board with at first glance. Usually, like we don't always like the same style of game.
I always pick it's all about mechanics for me first and gameplay, and for you, it's all about art first.
Yes.
So this is like a perfect mesh of those two things.
What typeface is that, Andrew?
I know it, but I can't think of it offhand.
You used it on
gold with 50 gold. Andrew Kolb.
Yeah. Yep, exactly.
And I can't remember the name of it, but yeah, we'll put it in the show notes.
Okay. So anyway, you can't. So if you're listening and you wanted to get in on this, I'm sorry you can't. You missed it. I wish I would have known about it sooner, because I would have told everybody so that anybody could get it.
Wait, I can't back this game?
You can right now, because it's still live for 13 hours.
By the time they listen,
by the time anybody else hears it, they can't. But the cool thing is,
for a second.
It's going to be super popular, so they'll come out with more retail copies after the Kickstarter launch. But there are 3 editions. The retail one has like these gems for like keeping track of the different elements, it looks like. But the deluxe has these stones, which kind of looks like they look like eggs, kind of carved eggs. Looks really awesome. And then there's all these wooden tokens for their favor. So I imagine there's a mechanic where as you're talking to these spirits and gaining points, you gain favor to be able to get other spirit points easier or something like that. I imagine it's that kind of mechanic. But the game looks incredible. And supposedly they're saying it's a 5-minute learn time. That's the thing that drew me. It looks great, and it's super easy for anyone to pick up.
So was the thing, infection at outpost area, whatever.
They didn't say 5 minutes.
But they acted like that junk was quick. It was not.
I mean, but
Wasn't.
5 minutes is quick.
Chweren't.
Like in board games, like learning in 15 to 20 minutes is like quick.
Standard.
They're saying 5 minutes, and that's
you
crazy
learn
to
every
me.
game in less than 5 minutes, Luke.
Yeah, but that's different.
Luke learns games through osmosis.
I
If he
feel
carried a
like
game
I almost
under
know
his
how to play
arm
this
for an
already.
hour, he'd get it.
Like I
He
haven't
takes his
seen
shirt
it.
off and just rubs pieces on his chest.
Why?
And he absorbs
Why
And
do
then,
you
and
go
then he
there?
makes us play games with those pieces without
Why
one.
do you go there?
Total power move.
Like,
Total power
such
move.
a weird. You're.
I both hate and love that. Like, you've hit this weird middle place for me.
But yeah, it's really, really awesome. So I'm excited. I learned about it. My friend Nick told me about it because he's backing it, and I saw it, and I was like, yeah, I'm in totally. And it looks really, really good. So we'll see.
July.
It's Kickstarter. It's hard. Lately, everything I've gotten has been really quick turnaround, and I've gotten it early. I'm waiting on Rising Sun by Cool Mini or Not. That's supposed to be shipping out within the next week or so. That was a game from last year that did over 1 million on Kickstarter, so it's a huge game. Super excited about that. But yeah, this looks awesome. I'm really, really excited for it, and that's kind of it. It looks really cool. That's it. I'm going to throw it to Patrick.
All right, thank you. So, my good friend Oscar, we were talking this week, and he was telling me about his favorite films of 2017. He gave me some recommendations.
Listen, that dude is such a grouch.
He's
No
also
relation.
a De La Hoya.
Okay. I mean,
Andrew has such a compelling laugh that you just go along with it.
I don't know if either of us are going along with it right now.
Oh gosh!
So
I laughed so much I almost knocked this troll off. And he's heavy. He's weighty. It would have made lots of issues.
it would have been noisy. So basically,
No, keep going.
did something happen with Luke?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Andrew made it funny.
That doesn't. Okay.
What a jerk! You are such.
That doesn't sound right. Okay.
Unbelievable.
Sound like him?
So we have Oscars coming up, or the Academy Awards. I don't know, but it's award season. That's what it is. We talk about. You're not going to drink that, Andrew.
No,
you
why
can't
would
get that down right now.
Andrew, wait. Can we hold on? Let's talk about this because this is the thing that happens, at least to Andrew and I, all the time. We are laughing. And we go to drink something, and we usually take a drink and then go, why did we just drink that? Because we are then forced to try and keep it in our mouth. It does not matter what I'm doing.
I see that as an opportunity.
I know.
100%. So
I'm imagining you tripping over yourself to get something to happen.
I just dropped something that I think I needed. That's good. It's gone.
What is like
This is
is the
quality
floor lava?
programming.
Like, why is it gone?
It's can't.
Guys,
fine.
if you've ever wondered what becoming a patron, a blooper level patron,
No, this is
like,
all in.
Is
this
This is in.
I know,
Once-
but I'm
once
saying
every 4
here's a
months.
sneak peek of what this looks like.
Oh yeah,
It's like under your
you
car
get
seat.
An hour
If
of this.
If something goes under your car seat, you don't get it back.
He did it. He just did it. We just talked about it, and he did it.
Now he's got it. Okay.
He doesn't.
Oh, he's still trying? Andrew, can you see this? Okay. Great. So
my
we
head
have
hurts.
we're about to make predictions, but we have our Oscar nominees for this year. We're going to go through a couple big categories, throw out predictions because we get to. So,
What a premise! Because we get to.
do I have to have a better one than that?
No, I love it. But you
Okay.
felt like you needed one in general, which is what's funny to me. This
I don't
is gonna
know.
fall and it's gonna break something.
Okay, so I shared. So in addition to having the list of the nominees, I also shared a link to FiveThirtyEight. So FiveThirtyEight, if you don't know, it's basically like statistics based discussions about things that are going on in the world. It could be politics related or pop culture related or whatever, but typically they're talking about it through the lens of statistics. And so there's most people would use something like 538 during like presidential campaign. There's, that becomes a really regular resource, but there's a lot of things certainly between those opportunities. But Oscars are a great one. So basically what they've done, they've taken the major awards that happen throughout the year, and they've weighted those awards based on several factors, including how likely you are to go on to win the Academy Award based on winning like a different award leading up to it.
Right.
And so they've
Other
weighted
accolades.
Right. And then what they do is they assign a score of saying that no one that has won an Academy Award at this point in the year has ever been below this threshold. And so or on average, like they're not below this threshold, whatever. So it gives you a really great visual way of seeing, at least based on history, who the front runners are and things like that. So actually, I think it's good to run through a couple of the front runners according to 538, and then see where we align or disagree. But the first one that they list in their race is Best Actress, and
it seems based on. Okay, go ahead.
What were we saying?
Go ahead.
So by a huge margin right now, Frances McDormand.
Yeah, it doesn't even seem like it's a contest based on their feedback.
I agree. So really, according to what they're saying, there's three people that have exceeded kind of this minimum threshold.
Of 63 points. That's their minimum.
Those three people are Sally Hawkins. How do you say her name, Andrew?
Which I love Sally Hawkins.
Saoirse.
Is it Saoirse Ronan?
Yeah.
So for Lady Bird. And then
know.
Frances McDormand, 3 Billboards. And I've seen 3 Billboards. I've seen Lady Bird. I haven't seen Shape of Water yet because I was telling them before we started recording, it still hasn't come to my market, which is insanity to me. So hopefully by next week I'll get a chance to see it, and I'm sure it's amazing. But right now, Frances McDormand's out front based on... And I have seen the post, by the way. I have seen I, Tonya. So I've seen all the ones in this list other than The Shape of Water. I personally, based on what I've seen, Frances McDormand, I'm 100% fine with being the front runner. I think Margot Robbie was awesome in I, Tonya. Now, maybe I, Tonya is fresh on my mind because it's the latest one I've seen. But I think I was not going to that film expecting her to be a standout, and she totally was. So how do y'all stack up against this list?
Well, let me tell you something. I have not seen any of these films.
None of those movies, yes. So
Okay.
let me tell you something. I agree that Margot Robbie should be higher on that list. I would like to see her higher on that list. The only film I haven't seen on here is Lady Bird. But Frances, I mean, she killed it. I mean, that movie was amazing. But I loved Sally Hawkins in The Shape of Water because I don't recognize her from anything else. And so moving. That film was so touching and so moving. I'd like to see her win over Frances just because, Frances just won all those other awards. Maybe this year is her year, but I'd like to see Sally get one because her portrayal in that film was so it was beautiful.
Do you think
and it was amazing.
I don't think the problem is not the right word, but do you think Margot Robbie doesn't have as many points because the movie was later coming out? Yeah.
I have no idea.
Maybe.
This is where someone that was knowledgeable.
All this stuff, though, would have been... They would have all had screeners and things in advance because of all this stuff. So I don't know how much that plays into it.
So next one on the list, Best Actor. So the ones on this list, it's Gary Oldman from Darkest Hour, Timothy Chalamet. That's close. I'm going to get Call Me by Your Name.
No, I think you're right.
Thank you, Daniel Kaluuya. Is that one correct?
Nope.
Great. What's that one?
Kaluuya.
Thanks. Great. Get Out. Denzel Washington for Roman J. Israel, Esquire, which is stuff I got to see, and then Daniel Day-Lewis, Phantom Thread.
I really want to see Phantom Thread, and it just came out in our market last week, I think.
Yeah, I don't have it yet. I'm sure that we'll get it next week or something like that. I have seen none of the movies on this list. I went to see The Darkest Hour, and instead I saw All the Money in the World.
You didn't see Get Out?
No, I haven't.
That surprises me.
It's like it's on HBO Go right now, and I have HBO Go, so I can go watch it. Mackenzie has no interest in seeing it, and a lot of my movie watching habits at home are dictated by her, so I just haven't seen it yet. I plan on seeing it. I will see it before.
Is that why you watch The Devil Wears Prada every Thursday night?
Yes,
every Thursday night.
So I shouldn't have any. I can't say my preference because I have nothing to judge it against. Gary Oldman is out front right now.
Like by far and away.
Gary Oldman is going to get it. He's out front. So best documentary on this list, I'll go and say now, the only one that I've seen is Icarus. Icarus is the one I recommended on the show last month. Icarus is an incredible documentary. I cannot say enough good things about it. It does not go where you think it's going to go. You'll end up on the edge of your seat. Watch the movie. I want that one to win just because I've actually seen it, but nothing else. So animated feature. So this will be more of what you guys care about. Is it even worth discussing who's nominated at this point?
I mean, it's going to go to Coco for sure.
And it should.
Yeah, I agree with that.
So Coco is again way out front.
Have you seen? Oh, sorry. I'm going to wait for you to get to it. I'm go. Keep going.
So best supporting actor.
Have you seen the Florida Project?
Florida Project never came to Chattanooga, I don't think.
I think it's only. I think they were just released it online, like on demand. I don't think it was in theaters.
No, I'm sure. I'm pretty sure it was in some.
Okay.
But anyway, no, I haven't. I mean, I would like to. I personally am a big fan of Willem Dafoe.
Me too.
And the preview of the film looks great. I think Nick that I work with, he's seen it. He said a lot of great stuff about it. I want to see the film. I haven't got a chance to. But Sam Rockwell, Willem Dafoe, Richard Jenkins, Woody Harrelson, Christopher Plummer. I said this on the show when we talked about All the Money in the World a couple weeks ago. The best thing about the movie was Christopher Plummer, who was subbed in. He's the guy that they recast. And so that just was funny to me that he ended up being the best part of the film, was not the original piece of the film. His performance was incredible. But to be fair, Woody Harrelson, I think Three Billboards is probably one of his strongest performances. I am not historically a Woody Harrelson fan. I actually, there's some things I've seen him in, I think he's pretty weak. And he was incredible, but of course Sam Rockwell was incredible.
Rockwell. I mean, have you seen the movie Matchstick Men?
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, I thought that this was a more mature version of that, like his acting ability, a more mature version of that, and I loved Matchstick Men. I felt like this was like a next step in that same kind of character, but he killed it in that movie.
Yeah.
So I would be happy if he won.
I don't know how you critique a performance like that, because to me nothing could be wrong with it. Nothing is wrong with it. I don't even know how to talk about it.
Right.
It was just so perfect for the film. So Sam Rockwell, and again, so it seems to be between him and Willem Dafoe, but he's still the favorite. A couple more we'll run through, just because this one's this is in front of my mind right now. Best supporting actress right now, Allison Janney, I, Tonya, way out front. So again, for actress and supporting actress, the two films are Lady Bird and I'm sorry, it's Three Billboards, Lady Bird, and I, Tonya. They're all competing for all those both categories, but Allison Janney was she was fantastic.
She was so good, like totally lovably hateable.
It's amazing how brutal staring in silence and like the way she twists her face and how abusive it can all feel. Just incredible.
Yeah.
Anyway, and then at the end of the film, when you get to see the shots of the actual characters and you get to match them up, very amazing. So a few other people on that list, but again, I, Tonya, Lady Bird are two out front, and Allison Janney is she's just way out front in this case.
I would root for her anyway, just because of West Wing. Honestly, she still has a special place in my heart from West Wing.
So I've never seen The West Wing.
Wow.
Oh man, you would love that show.
I've started it twice. And it just stopped after
then
like 3
you don't
episodes.
Love that show. Great. Okay,
I actually want to watch it because I have several people that we have similar tastes that they recommended to me.
Well, you liked Newsroom, right?
I love Newsroom.
Yeah. I mean, it's all Aaron Sorkin. I mean, you love Aaron Sorkin. So
I love Aaron Sorkin. So no, I want to like the show, but for whatever reason, the first 2 times I tried it didn't click immediately. So I need to just one more time dig in. All right, so last two categories, race for best director. Guillermo del Toro and Christopher Nolan are the two out front.
I want Del Toro to win it so bad.
I
need to see Shape of Water. Certainly Dunkirk Dunkirk in theaters is just, you need to see it in theaters. Just the scale of the movie, the sound of the movie, the shots, and it is just epic in every way.
You're 100% right, but I think that's the problem. Like, if you see it in a theater, it's great, but if you don't see it in a theater, it's just an okay movie. Like,
I could totally see myself not liking it.
Right.
But in theater, it is like
it's an incredible
brash
experience.
and shocking and oh my gosh, it's fabulous. But I need to see Shape of Water, Guillermo del Toro. He's out front. So last one, Best Picture, and it's a lot of the movies we've already said. The whole list: Shape of Water, Three Billboards, Lady Bird, Dunkirk, Get Out, Call Me by Your Name, The Post, Darkest Hour, Phantom Thread. There are 3 on that list I haven't seen.
I absolutely want Shape of Water to win it.
So the 2 at the top are Three Billboards and Shape of Water. Let me go ahead and say now, Three Billboards, I've had a chance to see it twice now. I don't know how to say this properly, so I'm going to say something and then infer from it what you want to.
I hope he says it in gibberish.
80% of Three Billboards is incredible, amazing, don't touch it. Wow. It loosens up towards the end. The second time I watched it, you hit a point where it kind of starts to wander a bit. And I kind of felt like, man, I wish you just rapped before now. And because the other thing
you think you feel that way because it doesn't quite give you the resolve you wanted. And so you're like, you started taking me down this path. We could have ended here, but instead you opened up this other wound. And then at the end of that, it didn't quite have the...
Yeah, what's funny is it didn't have the resolve I wanted, but at the same time, the thing I was wanting is less resolve than we got, or resolution than we got. So
that's what I mean.
Yeah,
like it would have been fine if it ended where it was because there was nothing, but then they decided to open it up,
like to jump into this new thing.
Oh, but then that actually doesn't lead anywhere.
So my point is to say I don't think that movie, and especially when I read this list, I don't think many of these films are going to have staying power with me. I can see how a movie like Lady Bird will get watched by 17-year-olds for decades to come. Like, I understand that. But when I go through and I think about Dunkirk or Lady Bird or Three Billboards or I just don't... I was going to say The Post for a second, but... I think I actually like The Post more than some of these other ones. I just don't see where these films are going to stick around with me or stay with me the way some other films have, like Good Will Hunting or Eternal Sunshine. You know, those films have, or No Country for Old Men. Like, for whatever reason, those films have really big sticking power for me and define certain like thought processes or actions or you know, whatever, they just really stick with me and then come out in different ways. I don't think any of these films are going to do that. And so I need to see Shape of Water. I need to see Get Out. Those are the 2 on this list that I would say are really big that I've missed. And I'm hoping that one of those 2 will. But thinking back in previous years, I just don't know, even though I would say, generally speaking, the quality of films felt higher broadly. Mm-hmm. I don't know that there's any single film that I'm walking into 2018 that I feel like nobody's going to top that. So in some ways, it feels like a bit of a soft year. So that's kind of like my broad thoughts. Now, again, I might see Shape of Water and totally change my tune, and it just blow me away. But I'm disappointed. Sounds too strong, but I don't feel like there is one huge standout. Like I was hoping. I was hoping Three Billboards was going to be that for me, and it wasn't. It was close, but it just missed the mark. So any thoughts, either of you, along those lines?
No, I'm pretty happy with the top choices. The Post, I think, could be a little bit higher up than, at least in the predictions, because I thought it was just beautifully executed. But
sure.
I mean, I've said it already a bunch on this episode and episode before, but Guillermo del Toro holds a special place in my heart. So, and I don't think he can do no wrong. It's not like that at all. But I think he did an excellent job with Shape of Water. The actors killed it, and the visual, the creativity. So I'm rooting for that. And I like Three Billboards a lot, even with the kind of that last piece that you were talking about. And I totally agree. It was a different take. It was a dark comedy, and more I'm liking dark comedies as I get older and can appreciate film a little bit more.
Yeah.
And so, yeah, I'm good with it.
Man, I, Tanya is just, that's getting me right now. I don't know what it is about that film, but that's actually one of my favorite watches, which I guess would be considered a 2017 film.
Well, Rory Kurtz did a poster for that too.
Oh, I know. I'm trying
Yeah,
to
it
get
looks
my
awesome.
point so I can buy it right now.
Okay, cool. Gotcha.
So, all right, Andrew, finish it up.
So I'm going to be actually pretty quick. I'm going to point everybody back to a special episode we released just on our YouTube channel. But for my master category at Art and Design, and I got the privilege to go and cover the Mondo Gallery Show Universal Monsters gallery opening last week. And oh my gosh, it was, first of all, it was insane. The number of people who were there blew my mind. I thought that it might be a somewhat smaller show. I don't know why, but it's probably the second biggest show that I've ever been to there.
Wow.
Really?
First being Disney?
It was almost as big as Disney. Like it was maybe, I don't know, 30 people, 30 or 40 people less than the Disney show. And that's
really? I'm out of touch.
And the pieces were just stunning. So, it's Universal Studios Monsters. So you've got kind of 5 main properties there, or 6. You've got Dracula, Frankenstein, Bride of Frankenstein, The Invisible Man, Creature from the Black Lagoon. Oh, and Wolfman.
Yeah.
So those are the kind of the 6.
It's basically
properties.
all of the creatures from Campy Creatures.
Yeah, it's the traditional horror movie genre, but this is an officially licensed Universal show in conjunction with Mondo. And so it was those 6 properties done by a bunch of different artists with different takes on it. So there was everything from original paintings painted on velvet, like actual like black velvet, and then there was white paint on black velvet.
That's
which was
awesome.
Totally fits that theme and that vibe, to screen prints, obviously, and then original drawings. So a couple of standouts for me. Go watch the episode on YouTube. That's all I can say, so you can see these pieces.
Sure.
Couple of standouts for me was Jonathan Burton. He did The Invisible Man.
That is such a good idea.
It's so smart. So the piece itself is a group of people, like the city of people, the town of people, clustered together, overlapping each other in chaos, and what the
negative space.
The negative space created by their bodies, what's left is the shape of the Invisible Man. Which is just such a smart take on it.
It really is.
And before the show, they had released the regular version of that, which is cool. It's got red eyes and red text, but the variant in person was all grayscale, and then the eyes and the title treatment were just done with a spot varnish.
So awesome.
So it just, if you were to just look at it without any light in there, it would just be completely kind of black and blank. But as the light catches it, you see his round glasses, his eyes shimmering, and the title treatment. Oh gosh, it's beautiful. They also were selling the original pencil drawing for that as well. Oh,
nice.
It was $2,000, so I didn't buy it, but I really wanted it.
Which piece did Sam Wolf Connolly do?
So Sam Wolf Connolly did a Dracula piece, which was beautiful but ultra creepy. Like the way that Sam Wolf Connolly.
Right. I mean, yeah, that sounds like his stuff.
It's he was kind of peeking over. All you see is kind of the top of his head, and then his hand kind of creeped over is kind of the main thing, and he's holding a rosary. And his fingers are like, his fingernails are sharp and kind of pink on the ends,
that was
but everything is real
Sam's?
pasty. What?
That's Sam's?
That's Sam's, yeah.
That's great. I like that one.
He killed it. It's great. Jonathan Burton also did a Bride of Frankenstein, which was beautiful. It was like the way he does it, like his pencils are very soft, and that translates to the final screen print. Greg Ruth. Let's just talk about Greg Ruth for just a second.
He did a bride too, right?
Before the show, they revealed that he was doing a Bride of Frankenstein piece, and I've not really ever followed Greg Ruth. Once I go back and look at his stuff, I realize, I've been seeing it and I've been admiring it for a long time.
Sure.
But I've never owned anything by him. We get there, the regular version's all like grayscale, kind of like it's black and white or whatever. But the variant is all tones of red. And I loved it, and I kept going back and forth. I'm like, I didn't end up buying anything other than this pin, this DK&G Frankenstein pin.
Nice.
Because I was trying to be really good. Well, EJ, who I've talked about on the show, my friend EJ, bought the variant Bride of Frankenstein piece, and he gifted it to me.
Whoa, what a good
so
dude!
Now it's hanging up in my studio, in my
EJ,
office.
you're a good dude.
He is a good dude.
It's amazing. This piece is beautiful, and you see the bride's face, and it's totally different. It's like soft, but like her eyes are very piercing, and then her bust goes down into the upside down mansion, like the mansion, and then the tip of the mansion is actually the electrode piece.
Yeah.
And there's lightning hitting it.
Yeah.
And then ghosted in the back. You don't see it right away, but ghosted in the back, the entire 24 by 36 frame is a framed out, it's Frankenstein's face framed out, kind of set to the background.
That's cool.
It's very, very, very cool. So
Let's go back and look at it now.
the other piece that was a standout for me, and I'm blanking on his name right this second, is a creature from the Black Lagoon. It looks like an etching. It's all black and white etching.
It's with an H. Holt? Brandon Holt?
Brandon Holt. Yeah, good job.
Thanks.
It was beautiful. It was everything I could do to not pick it up.
Yeah.
It was so, so good. Man. Anyway, I say all this stuff. There was a Ken Taylor Bride of Frankenstein. There was oh my gosh, now I'm blanking on. There's Phantom City Creative.
There's a lot of prints. Holy cow.
There's a Frankenstein by Phantom City Creative, regular and variant. There's a Dracula by Phantom City Creative, regular and variant. There's a massive original painting of Frankenstein's face that's just beautiful. Anyway, they're starting to go on sale now. I think there's a piece by Stan and Vince. I'm pretty sure there's I think it's the Mummy piece. So the Mummy is another one.
Yeah.
But they're starting to go on sale. By the time that this episode airs, the first wave will have just gone up for sale, which means there probably won't be anything left. But the second wave will come probably in the very, very near future. So keep your eye out for that. There's lots of pins. I think most of the pins. The Wolfman. One of the Wolfman pieces was pretty cool. It was done by Matthew Ryan Tobin. He did one of the pins, but all the other pin sets are done by DK&G. So our buddies over at DK&G. So
nice.
Just a lot of great stuff. Go pick it up. And like I said, go back and watch the interview I did with Rob Jones and Eric Garza from Mondo, actually in the shop while everything is going on right in the middle of the chaos. It was a blasty blast. So a huge thanks to the Mondo guys for letting us come out, giving us the red carpet treatment as usual, and go pick up some great stuff.
Yeah.
All right. That's it.
That's it.
Find this on mf1podcast.com.
I'm finished.
If you're watching this on YouTube, just click the links below. Share, like, follow, subscribe, rate, review, be friends, all the things.
All the things.
And just, help us out however you can. If you like what you're seeing and want to continue to see more of it, share the wealth. You can hit us up on Patreon. Go to patreon.com/mf1podcast. Throw a couple dollars our way every month, and that helps us out a ton. It also will get you some additional stuff and some extra content. You get to learn about some stuff early. On top of all that, February 11th, if you're going to be in the Orlando area, we're going to be doing an official podcast meetup with some incredibly cool guests. Jared Mariyama is going to be there. Jay Ratner. I'm blanking. Lenny Terenzi is going to be there of Hey Monkey Design.
Shauna
Tim
Lynn.
Anderson. And Adam Grayson. Shauna Lynn potentially. Parmesan Panchezin.
Maybe some mama sauce.
Maybe some mama sauce. there's gonna be a ton of people. Come join us. It's gonna be a blast.
Yeah.
It's gonna be, I think, somewhere on the boardwalk by Epcot, right?
Yeah, you should be there.
Yeah, it's
Don't
gonna be
be
fun.
shy. You
Yeah.
should be there.
I love that we're now just talking in chant.
I am.
No, but like, I mean, what Patrick is saying is, if you are hearing this and saying, "Oh, these are like legit artists," I am not that. Who cares? Just come. If you listen to the show, if you're listening now, and you like the show, you fit. You like.
Do you know what?
Go.
You're here.
What piece of feedback we genuinely get, I would say, the most often, and this is from hot seats, this is from interviews, this is from meetups, from all these places. The most consistent piece of feedback I think that we get is, I thought this was going to be uncomfortable, and it ended up being a ton of fun.
Yeah.
We hear that all the time.
Yep.
So plan to come, assume you're going to feel uncomfortable, and then be ready to be surprised when it's really awesome and a ton of fun.
Yeah. Be ready
There
to
might
talk
be-
to people because everybody's talking.
The first 5 minutes might be like, what do I do? Who do I talk to? But then once you get integrated into the conversation,
People
you
are
can't get
so
Jared
friendly.
to shut up.
Last year's meetup turned into, what was it, 5 hours later?
You guys left.
People are we had to leave early because we had a plane.
The host had to leave early because we had to catch a plane.
People were circled up singing Disney songs in the middle of in whatever that bar area was.
Yeah.
And like it was like, guys, we have to get on a plane in like 5 hours. We have to like leave for the airport. We have to go.
Sorry, guys, we gotta go. They're like, that's fine.
But this year we've planned it so that's not. We planned it so that's not the case.
We will go
We're not
till
leaving.
5 a.m. if we have to. We'll do
Yeah.
whatever it takes. It's going to be so much fun. The 11th, February the 11th, it's a Sunday. Go ahead. If you're in the area, plan on being there. More information will go online and on our social media. Just pay attention to it. But it's going to be probably somewhere on the boardwalk near Epcot. It's going to be fun, so just come and hang out. I think after that, let's just leave it there. We'll get out of here, but I'm Andrew.
I'm Patrick.
And I'm Luke.
Peace out.
Bye.
Hold on to your butts.